The revelation that shocked both atheists and believers. Are we about to make a monumental discovery after the excavation of this new finding? What lies beyond our current understanding of Christianity and its miracles? Join us as we explore the shadows of uncertainty, challenging long-held beliefs, and uncovering mysteries that will leave you wondering about everything. A group of atheists went on an amazing journey to challenge the highly held beliefs that have shaped human history for hundreds of years. With logic and reason as their only tools, and a natural tendency to be skeptical, they tried to figure out things that have been hard to understand for a long time. Their journey took them to places they had never been before, and they were brave enough to question the very basis of what they believed. They were always trying to learn more, so they dug deep into theory, science, and human understanding. Their goal was not to disprove or destroy religious belief, but to question the ideas and rules that had been passed down from generation to generation. They wanted a new view, a search for the truth that was free of preconceived ideas and cultural biases. What they found was beyond anything they could have imagined and sent shockwaves around the world. In their search for the truth, they came across a discovery that shook the very foundation of what people knew. The group of atheists found the Pool of Siloam in Jerusalem. This is a place with a lot of religious and historical significance. This old pool is important to Christians because it is described in the Bible. It has religious and cultural importance because it is called Shiloah in the Old Testament and is linked to King Hezekiah's water tunnel. When the Pool of Siloam was dug up and found again, it was a turning point in the study of biblical archaeology. It gave real-life examples that brought the Bible stories to life and helped people understand their historical context better. Believers and travelers from all over the world come to this site to pray, meditate, and think about their faith. Let's get in further to know what's going on with this new find. The Israeli Antiquities Authority has announced that the famous biblical Pool of Siloam in Jerusalem, which is considered one of the city's most significant archaeological sites, will undergo a complete excavation for the first time. Currently, only the northern side and a small part of the eastern side of the pool are exposed to the public. The Pool of Siloam holds great importance in both the Old and New Testaments of the Bible. According to 2 Kings 20:20, the pool was originally constructed approximately 2,700 years ago by King Hezekiah as part of the city's water system. Additionally, the Gospel of John recounts the remarkable story of Jesus healing a blind man at this very pool. The IAA's excavation will provide the first opportunity in modern history to fully expose the Pool of Siloam through an official archaeological excavation. In the initial stage, visitors will have the opportunity to observe the ongoing excavations. In the following months, the Pool of Siloam will be opened to tourists, forming part of a larger route that begins at the southernmost point in the city of David and concludes at the steps of the Western Wall. The Pool of Siloam excavation project is situated within the Jerusalem Walls National Park and will be sponsored by the City of David Foundation. The foundation supports various initiatives, including education, tourism, archaeological excursions, and land acquisitions in East Jerusalem. Its ultimate aim is to establish a Jewish presence in an area primarily inhabited by Palestinians at present. In 2019, an excavation in the City of David, the earliest Jewish settlement in Jerusalem, led to the discovery of the Pilgrim's Road or Pilgrimage Road. This newly excavated site will be incorporated into the Pilgrim's Road, which stretches from the Pool of Siloam, located near the southern edge of the City of David, to the western wall near the Temple Mount. However, political complexities arise as a significant portion of this area falls within the current borders of the Palestinian village of Silwan, a hilltop enclave inhabited by 40,000 people. During the 1st century AD, millions of Jewish individuals and other visitors traversed the Pilgrim's Road on their way to the temple. These pilgrims journeyed to the central religious center in compliance with the command to gather and worship Israel's God during the 3 major Jewish holidays: Passover in the spring, Shavuot, also known as the Feast of Weeks, First Fruits or Pentecost, 50 days later, and Sukkot, the Festival of Booths or Feast of Tabernacles, in the fall. It was mandatory for every able-bodied Jewish male to undertake this pilgrimage to the temple, where sacrificial offerings were made. The Pilgrim's Road is an impressive pathway featuring broad dimensions and large stone paving slabs, measuring 25 feet in width. It served as the primary route for worshippers ascending from the Pool of Siloam, where they would engage in ritual washing to undertake the 700-yard climb to the temple. Excavations initially commenced at the pool, and as the dig progressed uphill, workers were compelled to dig underground beneath the bustling Siloam neighborhood to unveil the hidden stairway. Archaeologists faced considerable challenges in this arduous endeavor, which necessitated the installation of steel support beams at regular intervals to reinforce the ceiling above. This was crucial, as workers excavated horizontally in a tunnel-like fashion beneath the modern streets and houses. The discovery of the Pilgrimage Road was an extraordinary scientific achievement of monumental biblical significance, according to Doran Spielman, the vice president of the City of David Foundation, in an op-ed for the Times of Israel. Unlike conventional archaeological excavations that commence from the ground level, this excavation was conducted subterraneously, beneath the vibrant ambiance of modern Jerusalem. The use of dozens of fiber optic cable cameras aided in determining the optimal excavation sites, while maps and diagrams produced by archaeologists over the past century and a half paved the way for progress in this remarkable undertaking. The Pool of Siloam holds a rich and extensive history spanning over 150 years, establishing it as a site of immense archaeological and historical significance. In 1880, the renowned Siloam inscription was discovered, engraved on a wall inside the water tunnel that led to the Pool of Siloam, near the starting point of the Pilgrim's Road. This ancient Hebrew inscription, now exhibited at the Istanbul Archaeological Museum in Turkey, documents the construction of the tunnel, revealing that it was meticulously crafted by digging from opposite ends and meeting in the middle. The tunnel, known as Canaanite Tunnel, also called the Siloam Tunnel, and is a very important part of Jerusalem. It is a very important place because it helps the water get from the Gihon Spring to the Pool of Siloam. This tunnel is important for water control, and it is also important for history and religion. During the Iron Age, maybe around 8th century BC, it was built as a tunnel to make sure the city had enough water. The Siloam Tunnel's name comes from King Hezekiah of Judah, who, according to the Old Testament, had the tunnel built to protect the water source of the city during the Assyrian siege. The Canaanite Tunnel is important to both Judaism and Christianity from a religious point of view. It's a physical link to the past and a sign of belief in God's care. The fact that the tunnel goes to the Pool of Siloam, which is where a major Christian miracle happened, makes it even more holy. From a technical point of view, the tunnel is a great accomplishment. It is about 533 meters long and was carved out of solid rock. It shows how creative and skilled people were in the past. The fact that the tunnel was built with few tools and the two teams of diggers had to work together to meet in the middle shows how well they planned and organized. The Canaanite Tunnel is a great place to learn about the past because it has a Hebrew writing called the Siloam writing. The language and history of the time can be seen in this writing, which is one of the oldest of its kind. Aside from its religious and historical importance, the tunnel shows how adaptable and strong people can be. It tells us about our ancestors' problems and how they solved them to keep resources, protect communities, and keep the world safe. The excavation efforts continued in the 1890s, led by F.J. Bliss and A.C. Dickey, a group of British-American archaeologists who uncovered some of the steps of the Pool of Siloam. In subsequent years, British archaeologist Kathleen Kenyon also conducted excavations at the site, further revealing additional steps. In 2004, during the repair of a sewage line, the Jerusalem Gihon Water Company unintentionally exposed more steps of the pool. This prompted the Israeli Antiquities Authority to initiate a systematic excavation, led by Professor Ronnie Reich and Eli Shikron, resulting in the uncovering of the northern and a portion of the eastern side of the pool. Eli Shikron was also involved in another significant archaeological discovery related to the pool. In 2007, a tablet bearing an inscription containing the name of King Hezekiah was found. Shikron, alongside Professor Gershon Galil from Haifa University in Israel, deciphered the inscription. The inscription summarizes the first 17 years of Hezekiah's reign and highlights his achievements, including the construction of the tunnel leading to the Siloam Pool. These discoveries provide compelling evidence that the accounts in the Book of Kings are rooted in texts originating from chronicles and royal inscriptions, affirming the historical authenticity of the Bible. Thus far, excavations of the Pool of Siloam have revealed its impressive width of 225 feet and the existence of steps on at least 3 sides, offering visitors the opportunity to sit and immerse themselves in the water. The pool underwent several phases of construction due to its significance, with renovations and expansions taking place during the late Second Temple period. The monumental features of the Pilgrim's Road leading to the pool were developed over a span of approximately 10 years and were completed around AD 30 under the supervision of the Roman governor Pontius Pilate, who famously sentenced Jesus to crucifixion. During this period, the Pool of Siloam reached its largest size, covering approximately 1.25 acres and serving as the primary water source for the city. Despite the remarkable progress made in the excavation, there remains much more work to be done to fully expose the entirety of this historically significant pool. During the time of Jesus, the Pool of Siloam held great significance as a place adorned with exquisite paving stones. It served as a ritual bath known as a mikveh, where numerous pilgrims would stop to purify themselves before continuing their journey along Pilgrim's Road, which led through the city of David to the temple. It was at this remarkable pool that Jesus performed a well-known miracle. The account is narrated by John the Apostle in John 9. As Jesus passed by the pool, he noticed a man who had been blind from birth. Curiously, his disciples inquired, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" Jesus responded, revealing a profound truth. It was not that this man sinned, or his parents, but that the works of God might be displayed in him. We must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. Night is coming when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. With these words, Jesus proceeded to create a unique mixture by spitting on the ground and forming mud with his saliva. He then anointed the blind man's eyes with his mud and instructed him, "Go wash in the Pool of Siloam," which translates to sent. Obediently, the man went and washed his eyes in the pool as Jesus had commanded. Miraculously, as he emerged from the water, his vision was restored and he could see. This miraculous event at the Pool of Siloam demonstrated not only Jesus' power as a healer, but also his role as the light of the world. It served as a powerful testimony to the works of God and highlighted the significance of Jesus' mission on earth. The politics surrounding the Pool of Siloam and Pilgrim's Road in Jerusalem are deeply intertwined with the complex issues of land control, religion, and historical narratives. These matters have long been a source of contention between Israelis and Palestinians, with both sides presenting their grievances. For Israelis, their claim to the Holy Land is rooted in their ancient historical connections to the region. They view Jerusalem as the focal point of their heritage and national identity, amplifying the pressure surrounding these issues. They argue for the preservation and recognition of Jewish historical sites, including the Temple Mount. On the other hand, some Palestinians have sought to deny or minimize the Jewish connection to ancient Jerusalem. There are those who question the existence of a Jewish temple atop the Temple Mount, despite overwhelming historical and archaeological evidence. This viewpoint has gained traction in certain circles, including within the United Nations. Unfortunately, the ongoing conflict and tensions have led to a growing divide between the different perspectives. Many perceive the excavation of the Siloam Pool and Pilgrim's Road as part of a broader effort to Judaize Jerusalem, which is seen as detrimental to the Palestinian cause. Archaeologists find themselves entangled in this political debate with differing opinions on the matter. The dispute also involves allegations that the excavation work has endangered lives and homes in the Muslim neighborhood above the site and encroached upon the off-limits Temple Mount. However, in court, it was determined that there was no evidence to substantiate these claims. Archaeologists have been working under constant supervision from engineers to ensure the safety of all involved. Overall, the political complexities surrounding the Pool of Siloam and Pilgrim's Road highlight the challenges of navigating historical, religious, and territorial issues in Jerusalem. Finding a resolution that acknowledges the diverse narratives and respects the rights and concerns of all parties involved remains a significant challenge. Indeed, Amidst the political complexities, it is important to recognize the significant archaeological discoveries taking place in Jerusalem. The excavation of the Pool of Siloam and the unveiling of Pilgrim's Road have the potential to reveal remarkable treasures and provide invaluable knowledge about the city's rich history. These archaeological endeavors offer an opportunity for visitors and tourists to engage with the tangible remnants of the past, allowing them to connect with the historical significance of Jerusalem. The accessibility of these sites will undoubtedly attract millions of people from around the world, providing them with a deeper understanding of the cultural and religious heritage associated with the city. Jerusalem Mayor Moshe Lyon's statement reflects the anticipation and excitement surrounding the archaeological project at the Pool of Siloam. It emphasizes the importance of preserving and sharing these sites of historic, national, and international significance. The historical significance of the Pool of Siloam extends beyond its biblical accounts. Its connection to the events surrounding King Hezekiah and the Assyrian threat adds another layer of intrigue to the excavation process. The diversion of Judah's water supply through a tunnel carved in solid rock demonstrates the ingenuity and resourcefulness of King Hezekiah in protecting his kingdom. Although the details of this remarkable engineering feat are not explicitly described in the biblical account, it is believed that additional historical records, now lost to us, might have provided further insights. The excavation of the full Pool of Siloam, spanning approximately 1 acre, presents an opportunity to uncover more evidence that aligns with biblical narratives. For scholars like Jim Parker, the excavation holds the promise of affirming the historical accuracy of the scriptures. It not only verifies the existence of the pool and the tunnel, but also sheds light on the rituals and practices associated with the temple. The spiritual purification performed by Israelites at the Pool of Siloam before entering the temple reflects the significance of this site within the religious and cultural framework of the time. As the excavation of the Pool of Siloam progresses, each discovery adds to our understanding of the historical and religious context in which these events unfolded. The convergence of archaeology, history, and biblical narratives offers a fascinating glimpse into the ancient world and enriches our comprehension of the past. The discovery of the Pool of Siloam in 2005 during sewage line repairs unveiled a significant portion of the site, but much of it remains unexcavated. The pool served as a reservoir for the waters of Gihon Spring, which were channeled through Hezekiah's tunnel. The natural spring water flowing into the pool was considered living water, known for its purity and freshness. The Pool of Siloam, situated in the southern part of the city of David and within the Jerusalem Walls National Park, holds immense archaeological and historical importance. It underwent renovations and expansions during the Second Temple period, transforming it into a ritual bath used by millions of pilgrims before their ascent to the temple through the city of David. The method employed by King Hezekiah to dig the tunnel and divert the spring water has been a subject of speculation among scholars. It is believed that workers simultaneously dug from both ends of the tunnel, laboring for an estimated 1 to 2 years through solid rock. The tunnel itself stretches approximately 1,700 feet, and an inscription inside the tunnel marks the point where the workers met. The tool marks on the rock inside the tunnel provide evidence of their directional digging, offering an intriguing glimpse into the construction process. While Israeli authorities have not provided a specific timeline for the ongoing excavation, they have indicated that tourists will be able to witness the work and that the pool will be accessible to visitors in the coming months. Jim Parker, a scholar and professor, expresses hope that the ongoing excavation will yield further artifacts that provide additional support for biblical accounts. Unearthing more evidence related to the Pool of Siloam has the potential to enhance our understanding of the historical and religious context in which these events took place. Parker believes that the complete excavation of the Pool of Siloam will provide a comprehensive understanding of the construction process and potentially lead to further discoveries. The excavation may uncover various artifacts, like coins, pottery, and other items, shedding light on the historical context and adding to our understanding of biblical accounts. These findings can contribute to a deeper comprehension of the Word and provide visual evidence to support teachings and discussions. Additionally, The excavation of the Pool of Siloam can offer insights into other miracles performed by Jesus at water-related locations, such as the Pool of Bethesda. Comparing the two sites, both from the same time period and likely constructed similarly, can provide valuable insights into how these locations appeared and functioned. The Pool of Bethesda, for instance, had 5 porticos, while the Pool of Siloam consists of a single large pool. Exploring these connections can enrich our understanding of the miracles and their significance in biblical narratives. Ultimately, despite the political complexities that surround Jerusalem, the ongoing archaeological discoveries serve as a reminder of the enduring value of uncovering and understanding our shared human history. Aside from the Pool of Siloam, there are some other occurrences that have their own significance because of the miracles performed there by Jesus. The story of Jesus feeding the 5,000 is the only miracle that is told in all 4 Gospels. Obviously, the people who wrote the Gospels thought this was a big wonder. When Christ fed the crowds that day, he started with 5 barley loaves and 2 fish, which were from a boy's lunch. It is a miracle that Jesus was able to feed 5,000 people with just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. However, the Greek word used in Matthew 14:21 only refers to men, and Matthew adds, besides women and children. Many people who study the Bible think that the real number of people fed that day could have been between 15 and 20,000. Matthew 14:15 says that Jesus' friends wanted to send the people away because it was getting close to night and they were in a remote place. They knew that the people had to get to the nearby towns quickly so they could buy food, find a place to stay, etc., or they would probably go hungry. But Christ had a better plan. You give them something to eat. At this point, Jesus' followers should have thought back on all the wonders they had seen him do. Andrew asked, "What are 5 loaves and 2 fish for so many?" Maybe some of them did. And Philip said it would take more than half a year's pay to buy enough bread for everyone to have a bite. Matthew 14:18 says that Jesus asked for food and fish to be brought to him. Then he gave thanks for the meal, broke the bread, and gave it to his pupils to give to the crowd. Amazingly, that small meal was enough to feed the whole crowd. Jesus gave them as much as they wanted, and they all ate and were satisfied. Christ didn't just give them what they needed. He gave them so much that 12 baskets full of broken pieces and fish were left over. God will shatter the small ideas that his people have about what they can do if they learn to give him what they already have. When God is in it, a little is a lot. When Christians are ready to give their lives as a sacrifice and let go of what God has given them in terms of time, money, talents, etc., God will use these ordinary things to do extraordinary things. Christians should never think that they don't have enough to serve God. God loves to take a humble person who doesn't seem important and use them for his glory. Philip's first thought was about how much the job would cost. He quickly figured out how many man-hours of work it would take to feed everyone. He thought the job was impossible because he thought everything rested on his work. Jesus did things in a different way. Jesus did the impossible without the help from people. Not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, says the Lord Almighty. Jesus fed the people with the help of his servants, which is interesting. He could have just snapped his fingers and made sure everyone had food, but he didn't. Mark 6:41 says that instead, Jesus gave to his disciples to give to the people. So the disciples had to have faith in the Lord for everything they gave away. They could only give back as much as they got. Philip, Andrew, and the others were put in a situation where they had to depend on the Lord for everything. God uses people in the same way as he did in the past. Christians should also be told that God can handle even the biggest problems. Andrew must have been thinking, what good are we going to do with only 5 loaves and 2 fish? Theoretically, Christians know that God can multiply anything he wants to feed as many people as he wants. He is God after all. The trouble comes when we have to put the theory into practice and we start to doubt that God will want to help us. In the story of Elisha in 2 Kings, there is a hint of what Christ would do. Even though there wasn't enough food for 100 men, Elisha told his helper to feed the people who had come together. One of the guys asked, "How can I tell 100 men about this?" In the end, though, they ate and still had some left. Isn't that just like God? He says that he will do more for his people than just give him what they need. The raising of Lazarus is one of the miracles that Jesus did. In the miracle, Jesus brings back to life Lazarus of Bethany, who had been dead for 4 days. John 11, 1-44 is the only place where you can read about how Jesus brought Lazarus back from the dead. John tells us that a man from Bethany named Lazarus was sick. Lazarus is Mary's brother. Mary is sometimes called Mary Magdalene. Mary and her sister Martha asked Jesus to come to help their brother. Jesus loved their brother just as much as he loved Mary and Martha. But Jesus didn't rush to Bethany to help Lazarus. Instead, he stayed where he was for 2 more days. Then he went back to Judea with his followers. They tried to stop him from doing this by telling him that Jews had tried to kill him by stoning. But Jesus answered in a mysterious way that people who walk during the day can see the light, while people who walk at night stumble because they have no light in them. So he went to Bethany to wake Lazarus up from his death sleep. Then it was clear that Jesus hadn't gone to Lazarus right away because he wanted to wait until Lazarus was dead so he could show his disciples once and for all that he was divine. When they got to the edge of Bethany, they saw that Lazarus had already been dead for 4 days. Martha, who had come out to meet them, told Jesus that she knew he could have healed Lazarus if he had come sooner. She also believed that if he asked God to bring Lazarus back to life, he would. Then Jesus said, "I am the resurrection and the life. Anyone who believes in me, even if they are dead, will still live." In other words, those who believe in God will live forever in heaven even after they die. Martha told Jesus that she thought he was the Son of God, and then she went and got Mary. When Mary saw Jesus, she fell at his feet and said, just like Martha, that if Jesus had been here when Lazarus was alive, he could have saved him. When they told Jesus where Lazarus was buried, he started to cry. People could see how much Jesus cared about Lazarus, and they all knew he probably could have saved him. As Jesus got closer to the grave, which was a cave with a stone in the middle, he groaned. Jesus told them to move the stone, but Martha told him that Lazarus had been dead for 4 days and would smell bad by then. Jesus told her to believe in God's greatness, so they took the rock out of the cave, and Jesus looked up to God and prayed. Then Jesus called out for Lazarus to come out of the grave. "He who is dead, come forth." And Lazarus, still dressed in his funeral clothes, walked out of his grave living. That comes to the end of the video, and don't miss out on this further incredible excursion. Instead, press that subscribe button and stay tuned for more mind-blowing discoveries and revelations.